Today we are going to see a very fabulous crime thriller movie named Thittam Irandu, which was released on July 2021. Aishwarya Rajesh is the main female lead of this movie and she is playing the role of a smart police officer in this project. This movie conveys a relevant social message to the society, so without any further delay, let's start. The movie starts with a rainy night, where a man comes in his two-wheeler and stops in front of a house. Here we can see that he is a physically handicapped person as he is having an issue with one of his legs, but still he is trying to walk in order to get inside that house, where we can also see that he is holding a knife too, and this scene ends there itself. In the next scene, Athira, the main female lead, is starting her journey to take charge to a new place, where she has been transferred officially. She is traveling in a bus and the ticket was booked by one of her colleague just few days ago and the seat number was L8. So when she checked it, the next seat, that is L9, was occupied by a man already, and upon asking him, she understood that he booked it before her, and therefore it won't be good if she asked him to shift or switch. So she inquired with the bus in charge about the other seat options, but as all the seats were filled up, he told he can't help her. The man in the L9, Arjun, understood her problem and therefore he says her to sleep in the seat comfortably and he adjusts himself in the driver chamber. She gets settled in the seat, but still, she can't have a good sound sleep as she is very much aware that Arjun has sacrificed his comforting space for her. Athira calls her colleague Abhishek, who booked her seat, and scolds him for his mistake. Anyways, after some time, Athira asks Arjun to come back to the seat and to sleep properly. At first he didn't agree, but Athira ensures him that she is totally fine with that. So finally both of them went back to their seats. Athira says to Arjun that normally during long journeys, she never used to sleep. So Arjun tells Athira that he will accompany her as he is also not sleepy. And likewise, they had a wonderful conversation whole night, and as it was New Year Eve, all the bus crew had a cake cutting in the mid of the road in the midnight. The next morning, Athira finds that Arjun has already left, but she notices a sticky note from him which mentions a New Year wish. When she was getting down from the bus, she asks the contact number of Arjun from the bus in charge by giving an excuse of his missing purse. With her, she was little shy to ask it, but still, she gets it. In the next scene, Athira is shown standing in a police uniform at the police station where she works. Suddenly she sees Arjun, so she asks him that what he is doing here. For that, he replies that he is arrested for bike theft case. Athira is shocked to hear this and questioned what. He smiles and says, "No, I was just joking. I am an actor, so I have to play a police role in the upcoming movie. So I came here to ask for permission to observe and learn." For that, Athira smiles and asks him to wait for some time, and then she goes to her room. No matter how great police officer she is still a sweet girl. So when a boy whom she likes comes to see her, she looks at the mobile camera and gets ready to make herself presentable in front of him. After that, she calls him inside and says that we don't give any permission like this as it is very strictly followed, but you assure that you won't cause any other problem, then you may come here next week and observe whatever you want to learn. So after that, Arjun started coming to the police station every day, started observing the police. Meanwhile, the friendship between them develops gradually. They started going out every now and then. While they were sitting in a restaurant, the staff who was in the bus that day came to Athira and asked about Arjun's missing purse. And when he saw Arjun, he told him everything regarding the purse matter up to giving his contact number. Anyway, Athira was feeling so uneasy and shy at the same time. After that, when they comes out from there, Athira gets a phone call from Kishore. Kishore is the husband of Deepa Surya, who is Athira's best friend. Athira gets the information that Surya is missing. Hearing this, she was shocked and goes straight to Surya's house. Kishore was there and Athira was asking him about the incident. Kishore is actually a doctor and he explains that he was out of station for work and he used to call Surya daily. But I could not reach her for a couple of days. So when I came here, I realized that she is missing. She has taken her car and has gone somewhere. But she is not the type to have friends like that, and she doesn't drive unless it is that important, and moreover she doesn't go anywhere without telling me. She has only gone to Pondicherry by herself. This is what Kishore told Athira. Athira calls Surya's mother and talks very casually because she doubts that Surya may be in her native. While talking like that, Athira inquires about Surya, but mother says that she doesn't have any contact with her because when they all were together, they had problems, and because of that she came out of Surya's house and never went back. Occasionally Surya calls her mom but doesn't say much. Now she only needs her husband, and nowadays she is taking some body revealing pictures under the name of modeling. Seeing this, me and her father scolded her. But she does not understand that this is not the right thing to do, and surprisingly her husband is also supporting her. So from all those explanations, Athira realizes that Surya has not gone there either. So she starts the next stage of the investigation, checking the CCTV footages, but the cameras that were there were of very low budget, and those two cameras only captures the entry and exit of the vehicle. So while checking the visuals, they can see a physically handicapped person coming and going down. They're on a two-wheeler, and his entry and exit are repeated many times. They understand that he has come about 33 times in those days. So when they see this, they have a suspicion about him. The truth is that no one has paid attention to it, thinking that he may be some delivery boy. After that, Athira goes straight to Kishore and asks him some more questions, things like, do you know this guy? He is a delivery boy. He has come here many times, but he says that he doesn't, and number 39, do you know him? Then she asks another question to Kishore, whether you have had any relationships in the past. At first, Kishore hesitates and asks her, why are you asking this now? She replies, no, I can ask this, even if it is my mother. I will ask the same because this is my duty. So Kishore says, I was in a relationship with a North Indian girl named Pallavi during college, but my family didn't agree to it, and because of that we broke up, and before the marriage there was a little contact like 1 year before, but now there is nothing more. When she asked if you have any other mobile number or how many mobile numbers you have, he said that I have only one mobile and also one SIM. But after Athira goes out from there, we see a different face of Kishore. That is, he has hidden another phone inside the fan. Kishore called someone from his phone and told that person not to call in his primary number from now on, and if there is anything, just call in this because police is tracing his calls, so if not careful they will know the relationship between us. The first thing Athira did when she came out was to give an order to investigate who Pallavi. After that, Athira gets a call saying that there was an accident a little away from Surya's house and there was a car on fire and there was a dead body in it. They have a doubt that it is Surya's because that car was Surya's. Anyways, the body was sent for further police investigation. After the post-mortem, it was confirmed that it was Surya's body. Kishore as well as Athira were shocked to hear that because their very dear one is no more. At first sight it looks like an accident, but Athira was sure that this is not an accident but a murder, because if it is an accident, and if the car is going after a limited speed, then obviously the airbags will work, but it was not working in Surya's car. When she was asked if it could be a technical issue, she replies it could be, but I don't think so. Athira is devastated by Surya's death. This time Arjun comes to her and calms her down. He takes good care of her and also buys her food and tells her to eat. Then again they are getting close like before. Athira is investigating whether more evidence can be found as part of the case investigation. They are trying to conduct an investigation of fingerprints. But the entire car has been burnt and the body has also been burnt, so no fingerprints were found. But nothing happened to the number plate, so 5 fingerprints were obtained from it. But it was all about one person. Then Athira says that the car did not cause an accident by itself, but someone pushed it forcefully and made it an accident. So they start looking for whose fingerprints it is. Athira orders that fingerprints of all those who were in that village should be searched, including Kishore's and Pallavi's. But despite searching for all of them, those fingerprints could not be matched with anyone. In the next scene, a girl named Usha is shown after spending some time with her secret lover. She is going into her house. At this time, there was that handicapped person and he had an iron rod in his hand. Usha was chatting with another person when Usha suddenly looks back. This person smashed her head using the iron rod and she was killed. The next day, Athira comes there to investigate, although this is being investigated by another police officer. They called Athira thinking that it has something to do with the case that Athira is investigating because the said handicapped person is also involved in it. When they inquired about Usha, they realized that Usha was a woman who had relationships with several men at the same time. 1 or 2 or 3 people were in other places, which was really far. But only one boy called Bharani was a bit suspicious according to Athira. When she inquired about him, she came to know that he studied with Usha in 12th grade. At that time, they had a relationship, and then Bharani later studied in St. Joseph College where Surya was also a student at that time. Therefore, it is certain that Bharani knows these 2 girls. Then they realized that Bharani is the most important link in this case. So the investigation begins with Bharani, but when she inquired about Bharani, she came to know that he went back to Singapore on the 31st of December. After his mother's death, he is all alone. They also found out that Bharani was in Singapore for the last 3 years, so the doubt that who is doing all this murders became a question again. on Athira's birthday night. Arjun and Athira are sitting at home drinking beer and there is a candlelight dinner with a romantic vibe. At that time, she is telling him about Surya like she really want to solve case and catch the culprit as soon as possible. She says that Surya loved her very much and even iPhone she uses actually belongs to Surya. Her fingerprint is still on this iPhone and that is the only memory she has as for now. Surya as a normal girl had some feelings. But being a police officer, Athira had her guards up to connect with men. Hearing this, Arjun kisses her, but Athira does not resist it and enjoys it. One day when Kishore went to another place for work, Athira, Naveen and Abhishek went to search his room. At this time, the mobile phone rings but Athira doesn't hear it but her colleague hears it, so when he comes to the room to take it, he doesn't understand from where it is ringing. Finally they walked out, because they can't find any evidence even after searching. When Athira came out, she could see the handicapped man wearing that helmet. When he saw Athira, he was trembled and really shocked. He tries to walk fast with his weak leg but while slowly turning around, his leg becomes completely normal, and he tries to run fast. Athira is really shocked to see this and she immediately called his colleagues. There, he was running faster than a normal person. They tried to chase him but they missed him. He changed his form and became a beggar and sat there, but the police identified him and arrested for further questioning. He was none other than Bharani. So when he was questioned, he told all the truth openly. Bharani was the one who killed Usha and we saw that. Bharani and Usha were lovers when they were studying in 12th grade, but Bharani realized that she was a player and she was using him, so he was very angry and resentful towards her. After that, Bharani meets Surya while studying in college. Surya starts getting close to Bharani soon, so they became very close and had a good friendship which later turns into love. But when he proposes to her, Surya rejects Bharani. Bharani says that I tried to kidnap her and marry her during my college days because of my enmity with her. But her father turned it into a big case. After some time, Bharani's mother passed away and after that he was lonely, so he went back to Singapore. But some time ago he came home and one day while he was drinking tea from a shop, he saw Surya and her husband and they were really happy together, and that's when he felt a grudge against her. So at that point, he decided to kill both Surya and Usha. But he adds that unfortunately he missed Surya. Athira was really shocked when she heard this. He tried once to kill Surya, but at that time Surya's secret lover was with her, so he could not kill her. Secondly, he came yesterday to kill her, but at that time Surya was not there. Instead, Athira was there. That's how the police caught him. The police knew that Usha was a good player, but about Surya, no one had any doubt. Therefore, it was very difficult for them to believe it, and here it was Arjun who was showed to us in Surya's house. But neither Athira nor the other policemen know this. Athira asked the sketch artist to draw the suspect's sketch, but this is not a cliché as seen in normal movies. Here Bharani was not able to tell exactly how the suspect looks. Therefore, they cannot take the case forward with that sketch. Bharani says, I don't know how to explain like that, but if I see him directly or in a photo, I can surely identify him. In the next scene, Athira is going to watch a program of Arjun. It was a drama performance. Police team still didn't find any evidence in Surya's case, but that's when Athira checks the CCTV visuals again, makes a theory based on the evidence obtained from it. It was the route that Surya traveled at night, in which 4 people were going in an Omni van before Surya's car left. And the same Omni during the exit had only one person after Surya's car entered. After the accident, a sumo was passing through and that sumo was entered with only one person but exited with 4 persons. So this means that the people who came in Omni got down there and then they escaped in this sumo i.e. after the accident, they escaped in sumo. So this was Athira's theory. Not only that, according to the postmortem report, the cause of Surya's death was a head injury. Athira has a doubt whether it was a deliberate injury or just an accident because there was no clarity in the report. Athira went to the forensic department and reinvestigated this case again. She said that the body should be checked again and that it should be unofficial. That's when a big twist happened. It was realized that the body was not Surya's, so that body belonged to someone else. Then the next thing she realized was that the first report was totally fake and it was a manipulated report. When she inquired about who did it and when she asked him, he admitted that he was bribed for that. Athira realizes that it was Abhishek, who is Athira's colleague, and then Kishore, who did the bribe. Athira then went to arrest Kishore, but before that Kishore asks permission to talk to Athira for 10 minutes personally. So after hearing this, Athira says okay, and he starts saying that even though Kishore and Surya got married, there was no intimacy between them. Kishore didn't notice this at first, but later he realized that Surya had no interest in him, and she also had no interest in sexual relationship. Later one day he saw Surya's Facebook account and realized that she was in a relationship with a boy named Joshua. Seeing this, Kishore got angry and asked her about this. Surya tells him that I was intimate with him before, but family did not agree because he was from a different caste. Surya tells Kishore that I really love him. My parents forced me for this marriage, but still I only love him and I want to live with him. But I can't do it because my family will kill us. On hearing this, the idea that came to Kishore's mind was that the family would follow her only if they knew that she was alive. But it was an idea in Kishore's mind that he could create a fabricated accident to convince the family and the world that she was dead. Kishore planned and executed it very well. But Athira, as a very intelligent police officer, was not ready to believe any of this story, but Kishore still had evidence in his hand, which was a mail sent to him by Surya. That mail was anonymous and there was an attached video in it, which was a video of Surya and Joshua thanking Kishore. Surya is now living a very happy life. So Kishore says to Athira that it would be better if she closed this case investigation, but Athira says that she need to talk to Surya on the phone at least once for closing it completely. But Kishore didn't have Surya's number. But she has given him a promise that she will call him at least once every 3 months. Kishore says if she calls him, he will definitely give the phone to Athira. But even after 6 months, she had no information about Surya. But one day Athira gets a message from Surya. Athira tried to call it back, but it was a private number and therefore it was not getting connected. The message says that if you can come to Pondicherry as soon as possible, I will send you the location. Come. I will tell you everything directly. Hearing this, she immediately leaves to go to Pondicherry. This time Arjun comes there and he says that he will join her, but Athira says no. Surya said that she have to meet her personally. So please understand. But Arjun says he won't disturb her. He just want to give her company. Finally, both of them started their journey to Pondicherry. There they reached the location that Surya told. At this time she gets a call. It was Bharani. Bharani saw a short film of Arjun and realized that he was the one he saw at Surya's house that day. But the call couldn't connect and Athira was not able to hear anything. So Barney says that he will WhatsApp her, but because there is no network, it is not delivered. At the same time, Naveen, Athira's colleague, also sent a voice message saying that he can't reach her in phone. Madam, and there is an important news, and if Arjun is with her, try to move away from him as soon as possible. But none of this message was delivered to Athira, and meanwhile she is looking for Surya there. But there, Athira met a few people that she didn't expect at all. They were Kishore, Abhishek and Pallavi. When she asked why they are here, they replied that Surya will not come back. At this time Arjun was behind, and suddenly Athira gets network on her phone and receives all those messages. So Athira understands Arjun's involvement when she hears it. Shocked to know that, she talks to Arjun very angrily and says why did he fall in love with her. Now Kishore says in a flashback that Surya was born as a girl, but she had the feeling of a man in her heart and she wanted to live as a man. Even when she attained puberty, she did not envision herself as a girl. But her family used to fight and beat her a lot whenever they heard that she would grow up as a boy or play a male role in some dramas. And when she was in college, the only person who treated her like a man was Bharani. That is why she had a close bonding with Bharani. But her parents forced her to marry Kishore. She was threatened and mentally tortured to do it. She was then married to him without any interest. But even after that she made an effort to be physically intimate and live as a woman. But she couldn't do it. But she was very angry that she couldn't tell anyone about it, as well as nobody could understand it. But Kishore, who was also a doctor, understood this very soon, and he told that this is all normal. This happens to many people. It is called FTM, which means female to male transformation. He says, if you agree, then we can do it. She didn't agree to it at first, but later Kishore motivated her a lot and so she agreed to it. Kishore started her treatment, and first they started some workouts and also had to inject testosterone from time to time. Testosterone is a male hormone, so there was a need to inject it. One day Surya's family came and saw them doing such things, as well as they were shouting at her because of her modern pictures and all. But Kishore answered them this time and told them to stop it, reminded them that he is the one who should take care of her. So in the first stage of the treatment, Surya's voice changed. Her upper body was removed by surgery, and slowly all the remaining surgeries were done to change the female body into a male body. So this transformation happened for a year. Athira says that she don't believe these things and everyone is lying here to escape. At this time Arjun, who was behind, is calling Athira. After that Athira is looking back. Actually her phone is with him due to that earlier beating. Arjun placed his finger on the fingerprint sensor of that phone and the fingerprint was enabled. So she was really shocked to see this. That's when she realized that Arjun standing in front of her is actually Surya because it only had Athira and Surya's fingerprints on it. I have been interacting with you for so many days. Everything was pre-planned from the bus journey. I did all this with their help. Abhishek was the one who booked the ticket for me. All this was done on purpose. He asks her whether you remember the time when you told me when I was young that you will marry me after I become a male. So now here I am completely a male and Arjun asks Athira whether she is ready to marry him. But this was a shock to Athira and she says that she was really cheated by him and moreover when she came to know that he is actually Surya, she can't accept him like that. After that Athira is going to a bad state of mind. She goes home and smashes all the things. This actually shows her emotional turbulence. Arjun and Surya are the same in her mind or she can't find who to accept in this. So she goes through a trauma stage. Arjun calls her every single day but at first she doesn't pick up any calls. One day when Arjun calls her, she picks up. Arjun asks her why she is avoiding him like this. After that Arjun says, do one thing, you take 1 year time and then think intensively whatever you want to think about us during that period. And I will wait for you for 1 year. After that you just have to say your decision. So after 1 year, Athira is meeting Arjun and Arjun is waiting for her decision. Athira is going to tell her decision but it is not shown in the movie because it is Athira's privacy. But in the ending, another thing is said that whether Athira accepts Arjun or not is her personal matter. But the movie says that we should all accept Arjun. It conveys a very relevant message. The stigma of a large society represented by Surya's father and mother still exists today. Once a transformation like this happens to our friends or our loved ones, we often don't show the heart to accept it. But this film ends by saying that such a deconstruction is necessary. Please do comment your opinion about this movie and the connected message and don't forget to subscribe this channel for watching more interesting movies. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more interesting stories.